Before we book it, Miles forgot to say one more thing about his country of origin, that being Canada.
Yes, I grew up in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, and uh, the artist scene there is, from what I create, like cartoonish like stuff. I never really saw it there, so I looked elsewhere, and uh, when I applied for university, uh, I took the means to go to one of those late night seminars to find out more about the classes. And the pamphlet had things like 2D animation drawing for 2D animation. I'm like, great, I'm going to go there. And I go to the seminar, and the people are like, oh, we don't have those programs anymore. And I'm like, why not? Well, we sort of lost the funding for that. The film and tax cut thing happened, and we we could no longer afford to keep the professors in the university. In fact, if we don't have enough demand for it, they won't even have a class for it altogether. So I walked out of there pissed off, and I spent more time focusing on where else can I go, where that has an affordable education and what I want, and that was in Nova Scotia. So last year, I uh, I left Saskatoon to go to Nova Scotia, and I ended up living on Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia since oh geez, how long ago was that? That was a long time ago, but I came to Nova Scotia to go to the Nova Scotia Community College, which had a basic introductory program for people that want to get their feet wet into other programs. So and that's what I did for the year, and I graduated that with honors. So now, if I wanted to, I can go back to the NSCC or Nova Scotia Community College, one of the other campuses in Truro or Halifax, and get a more dedicated education there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing. I I got published in Saskatoon for that fan magazine. I then moved to Nova Scotia to go to a 1 year program, and I got honors from that, and now I'm just freelancing,
All right.
and that's it.
All right. Oh my gosh, art school is so expensive. I went to SVA. I should know. And you know what SVA is?
No.
Oh, School of Visual Arts. It's the art school in New York, and Rebecca Sugar went there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that's great.
In fact, I pretty much went there because Ian Jones went there, so that was nice. But yeah, it was super expensive. In fact, we're $20,000 in debt. But we left the school right on time, so I could go to a school in my state to be cheap.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, for me, my education was I'm ballparking it to about $5,500 for that 1 year program,
Oh my.
and yeah, it was super cheap.
Okay,
'Cause
I,
it
I,
was
I honestly, I don't remember what my class was like, but I think my dorm costed about $1,500, and the classes might have costed about much more than that. I don't remember exactly, but it was super expensive.
well, it was a strange thing, this introductory program, because it was only 1 year, but it crams 11 courses at you in 1 year.
Huh.
Like you put your feet into um, drawing for animation, photography, video editing, audio editing, um, sound. Oh, I already mentioned that. Mentorship, uh, and quite a few other classes too. It was very stressful, but I got through it pretty well. And I have a lot more information from that program now than I ever did learning stuff online. And that's what I discovered about myself too. And the reason why I wanted to go to college, because unlike some people that I know, I cannot work on my own in my house. It is so antisocial that I got fed up, and it was okay, I need to interact with people. I need to have a teacher. I need to be in a place that's a lot more supportive than my house.
Oh my gosh. I that's funny because most artists I've seen are antisocial people that prefer to not go to art school and are self-taught, and I guess are just in general cynical. I mean, you sound cynical, but you're not. You are so motivated than rather cynical. In fact, if anything, your cynicism has more of a reason than other artists. Oh my god, I don't want to assume that the cynicism of other artists are unjustified, considering that they might have a hard life. But as for you, you had to really have to deal with a cruddy economy, and you just can't stand being alone. So you have to be social, and that's an admirable trait.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know people that can learn things all on their own without having to do like expensive things like college.
Yeah.
But you can't really base your growth as an artist just because you can and cannot go to art school. It's all about how you feel about art.
Exactly.
Do you want to go to art school? For the reasons of do you like the setting that's available to you when you go to a school? Or do you prefer to work alone because you just don't work well enough with other people? Or for whatever reason?
All right. Yeah, and in fact, I actually went to SVA just so I could get enough credentials to get hired. But then I thought, one of my teachers told me that I didn't have to go to art school. In fact, I could easily build a portfolio.
That's true. What matters is what you make. That's what I learned in college. It's not about what school you go to, what kind of art supplies that you use. It's what you do.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think we've been letting this podcast go off a little bit too long now, so
it's perfect. It's perfectly fine. This separate audio I'm gonna make into a separate file, so I'm just gonna make it as Miles's history or something. Is that cool?
No, that's fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, the original podcast I recorded for the interview was 17 minutes, but yeah, can we end it here, or do you have more to say?
I just wanted to say one last thing.
Please do.
For the past couple weeks, I have seen a lot of my friends that are also artists and people that I admire that have been beating themselves up because they don't feel like that their art is good enough. That's not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
What you make is special. It is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does take a lot of patience and willpower to get yourself up to a desk and work. It really does. When I was just barely in high school, I was in a rough spot because, well, can't really mention it here, but let's just say family-related issues.
Yeah.
And me having to quit school, and I was depressed, and I was looking at my artwork, and I felt like my art was garbage. And it was in a way. It was not as good as I had expected my art to be at that point in time. But I knew that my art could be better. I knew that if I kept working, I would eventually get it. So I kept at it. But then I fell into another depression, and I felt really, really bad to the point where I didn't even want to draw anymore. And that's where a lot of artists, the past couple of weeks have been feeling, is like they don't feel good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened for me was that I saw somebody for the first time on DeviantArt, and I was like, oh wow, that is so cool. And I felt like that if I kept working, I could look back at that and be inspired by that, and I still am. I mean, I took that moment to dedicate an art series of the people that kept me going during that time frame. Granted, it's not my best work anymore, but it means a lot to me because it was a time when I was just about to give up, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right.
Don't give up.
Good.
Don't.
Good. This interview got a lot more touching than usual, and I think this is definitely going to inspire people. Thank you very much for being on here, and we're gonna.
Very welcome.
Yeah, we're gonna end this here right now. Catch you all later, guys, and remember, I should.
Stay beautiful.
Exactly. In every meaning of the word. Adios.
Alrighty.